Similar to this video, one of the best things about the Royal Rumble match is the numbers and records, because each year has fans guessing what records could be broken and who has the honor of breaking said records. Even if we know the majority of competitors confirmed for the Royal Rumble match, there are many occasions where WWE swerves the audience by announcing certain wrestlers who ultimately never actually compete in the Rumble itself, as a way of sneaking in a special surprise. The Rumble match is a fresh concept to a traditional battle royal where instead of 30 wrestlers competing at once, you gotta work your way up to the end, like a marathon compared to a mere sprint. Putting the winner of the Royal Rumble in a championship match at that year's WrestleMania can cause very fun debates among fans on who really deserves the shot over the other. Sometimes it can be bad, but for the most part, it's exciting. Something worth adding 20 wins for is the shock factor, whether it's returning legends or wrestlers returning from career-ending injuries. With every 10-second countdown, the anxiety always kicks in because we, the fans, don't know who's behind that curtain. For the most part, the Royal Rumble match helps elevate wrestlers into mainstream feuds and main events that they otherwise would have never had. Examples including Batista, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. The Royal Rumble match can even turn into a funny tradition for some wrestlers who are good at escaping elimination. Enter Kofi Kingston, who always came up with a clever idea to prevent his feet from touching the floor after going over the top rope. Another example of anything can happen took place in 1998 when Mick Foley competed 3 times in one Royal Rumble match under 3 different personas, and even though it hasn't happened since, we can remain in wonder if that possibility can take place again in the future. This match is also the perfect way for a debuting wrestler to show the world what they can do and put eyes on their craft. As the Royal Rumble has been the most popular yearly match in professional wrestling history, thus the eyes of the world are on it. Same can be said for wrestlers from NXT, as that is mostly the development brand and not as popular viewership-wise, so the Royal Rumble is the perfect place for fans to be introduced to wrestlers fighting their way to the main roster. The Rumble can also be the match where a wrestler can showcase their longevity abilities, as many wrestlers over the years lasted anywhere between 50 to 75 minutes, putting on impressive performances just by staying alive in the match as long as they did. A major example of this, much as fans want to forget about the greatest Royal Rumble from Saudi Arabia, is Daniel Bryan competing for 75 minutes less than 1 month after coming out of a forced medical retirement. This performance helped show that Daniel still had what it took to go the long distance after everything he went through with his neck injuries. When there are 2 or more championships to choose from, the decision of who the Royal Rumble winner will face at WrestleMania becomes more exciting, especially when they choose to wait until after the Elimination Chamber event to make their choice on which champion they'd like to face. The more opportunities, the better. On 2 occasions, the actual WWE Championship has been defended in the Royal Rumble match, which changed things up on who could be competing at WrestleMania, as the winner of the Rumble wins the world title itself and is practically guaranteed to walk into the show of shows as the champion. Royal Rumble matches have also been known to showcase domination abilities by certain wrestlers who eliminate a lot of opponents and set records, from Hulk Hogan to Kane to Roman Reigns to Braun Strowman, and even Brock Lesnar, who not only threw out 13 wrestlers but 13 consecutive wrestlers. Before the creation of the Women's Royal Rumble match, there have been times where intergender moments happen in the Men's Rumble that were either amazing or downright funny. Whether it be in China eliminating Mark Henry, Beth Phoenix kissing the Great Khali over the top rope, or Karma scaring the crap out of Michael Cole. And while Beth Phoenix is the first woman to have competed in both the male and female Rumble matches, Nia Jax made history in 2019 by being the first wrestler in history to compete in 2 Royal Rumble matches on the same night, as she appeared in the women's match, then later stole R-Truth's place in the men's match. Whether fans may like it or not, it goes to show that history can be made in more ways than one. The 2014 and 2015 Royal Rumble matches have been infamous for the lack of Daniel Bryan victories, as he was insanely popular with the fans. Thus, the Royal Rumble can show the dedication from the fans on who they would like to see compared to others that were chosen to win in the end. Had it not been for the reception of the 2014 Royal Rumble, Daniel never would have won the main event of WrestleMania 30 or even been in it. The creation of the Women's Royal Rumble match helped elevate the women's division as a whole to be just as important as the men's division. The biggest example being 2019 when Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble and kicked off what would eventually become the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. The Women's Royal Rumble also helped elevate the likes of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair into mainstream talents. Take Bianca, for example, setting an 8 elimination record at her first Rumble appearance in 2020, which of course was tied with Shayna Baszler in the same match, followed by a victory in 2021 after a near 60-minute performance. the latter of which allowed her to main event WrestleMania 37 with Sasha Banks. As for Rhea Ripley, the Royal Rumble showcased her dominance and longevity as she holds the record for the longest time spent in a single Rumble at 61 minutes, the most combined eliminations at 20, and the first female to win the Royal Rumble from the number 1 position. In addition to winners, broken records, and longevity timeframes, the Royal Rumble match can also lead to potential confrontations for matches that you would otherwise rarely see or never see. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Need I say more? I know there are definitely more things I'm potentially missing out on because the Royal Rumble is absolutely filled with amazing moments, appearances, and career results. But it just goes to show that no matter what happens, whether good or bad, the Royal Rumble match is and most likely will be the most anticipated match in professional wrestling history for many more years to come. That deserves 50 more wins.